Chapter 1525. Not only Ning Cheng, but Yi Mo was also shocked. Seeing those powerful beings open their worlds and bring countless cannon fodder to fight for the Gate of Fortune, he felt a little disappointed. He wasn't disappointed that his world didn't have cannon fodder to help, but that even Fate Tao Lord opened his world and many powerful beings came out ready to fight for the Gate of Fortune. Yi Mo cultivated Fate cultivation method and knew the power of Fate Tao. He admired Fate Tao Lord a lot. But now, even Fate Tao Lord treated these beings as insects. This made him feel very uncomfortable. Sect leader Yi, why didn't your world open? Chaos Tao Lord saw Yi Mo was unmoved and frowned. Since they were allies, they had to give it their all. To him, it was natural for the powerful beings raised in his world to be used as cannon fodder. They were like chickens, ducks, cows, and goats that people in the mortal world raised in pens. They had no qualms about slaughtering them. Moreover, they had given these captives a supreme goal. As long as they could help them cross the Gate of Destinies, they would be able to break free from their shackles and face the true vastness of the universe. They would no longer be bound by anything. Yi Mo took a deep breath. He had decided to leave this divine Tao alliance he named. His good fortune did not need to be accumulated with the lives of others. To him, there was a difference in strength, and everyone's lives were equal. There was no difference between them. Fate Tao Lord clearly saw what Yi Mo meant and said softly, Tao friend Yi, these people are all extremely willing to fight for the Gate of Fortune. As for the fellow Taoists in my world, all of them took the initiative to stay in my world. They are also disciples of my dojo, and they are all here for this day. I told them to leave my world before, but they didn't want to. Yi Mo's eyes fell on those people who were extremely excited after coming out of the powerful being's world. He knew he was wrong. These people didn't have the thought of being kept as cannon fodder at all. There was only determination in their eyes. He understood that if he were in their shoes, he would also be filled with the same fighting spirit. Those who could come out of other people's worlds to fight for fortune were definitely powerful beings of that world. To be able to become a powerhouse of a world, who didn't have a firm will. They naturally desired to step onto a more powerful stage. As long as they succeeded, they would also be able to obtain a supreme opportunity. At this moment, Styx River, who had been inviting Yi Mo, suddenly raised his arms and yelled, Creation is born, Yuan 2, Avicii return. Xing Shi, who had been hesitating about which side to join, suddenly felt a vast and boundless pressure binding her divine soul and will. A kind of power that wanted to suck away her soul was pulling at her. Her entire body began to tremble. In just a moment, she understood. She stared at Mingi with her blood-red eyes and said with some difficulty, Mingi, you deliberately threw the Avicii sword. Xing Shi, although you aren't as good as the previous sacred lord, you're still not bad. Since you have obtained my Avicii sword, why don't you quickly return to your position and help me fight for the good fortune? When I enter the creation realm, there will definitely be a place for you. Pfft. Xing Shi spat out a mouthful of blood as she trembled uncontrollably. Styx River snorted. Xing Shi, if you don't return to your position now, when will you? Xing Shi's eyes flashed with madness. She had always wanted to be the supreme expert who dominated the vast universe. Even if countless experts appeared during the fight for the creation gate, she didn't want to be ordered around by others and become someone else's cannon fodder. Ha ha ha. Xing Shi suddenly laughed crazily. Even if I, Xing Shi, cut off my divine soul and shatter my essence spirit, I won't be a dog of Mingi. As she spoke, the blue lotus under her feet burst out with a blue blade ray. This blade ray sliced through the top of Xing Shi's head, and the next moment, Xing Shi's entire body dimmed. The sound of void laws collapsing and exploding rang out, and the endless laws of heaven and earth shattered. Ning Qing sighed when he saw this scene. He had long wanted to kill Xing Shi, but seeing Xing Shi end up like this, apart from sighing, he also admired this woman. Experts had the dignity of experts. Xing Shi knew that even if she cut off the connection with the Avicii sword, she would not be able to escape Mingi's hands in her weakened state. Even if Mingi didn't do anything, she wouldn't have a chance to survive here. There was almost no one who could really help her. There was no way for her to go other than to die. If it was any other place, she would have a chance to escape, but in front of the creation gate, Mingi withdrew his sword and ended her life. Therefore, this woman decisively cut off her divine soul and even gave up a treasure like the creation green lotus, letting herself be reborn in samsara. This was also her cleverness. If she wanted to keep the creation green lotus, she might not even have the chance to reincarnate. Ning Cheng, if I knew this earlier, I might as well die in your hands. It's better than being forced to death by a butcher. These were Xing Shi's last words. She had schemed against the previous sacred Lord Green Lotus and perfected the creation Green Lotus. However, she didn't expect that she wouldn't be schemed against by sacred Lord Green Lotus, but by a sword. It seemed that Yuan-Tu and the Avicii sword were both treasures of Mingi Heavenly Venerable. This person deliberately gave up these two peerless killing weapons for today. This guy was also learning from Xianhuang Gaian and itinerant E.G. The only difference was that Xianhuang Gaian and itinerant E.G. had been defeated by Ning Cheng and Yi Mo. However, Mingi had succeeded in controlling his Avicii sword. If Xing Shi hadn't rather died than become Mingi's dog, he would have succeeded. Xing Shi had the Avicii sword, but she had been forced to die before the fight for the creation gate. Then, the owner of the Yuan-Tu sword, as Ning Cheng's thoughts reached this point, he immediately stagnated. Wasn't the owner of the Yuan-Tu sword Lan Shu? He hadn't seen Lan Shu before. Was Lan Shu also going to be summoned by Mingi? Boom, 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 boom. 5 violent explosions rang out in the mountain gaze in succession. 5 colorful clouds burst open, followed by 5 figures flashing like lightning. Almost at the same time, the creation green lotus and the Avicii sword turned into 2 shadows and fled. After Xing Shi perished, her world shattered, and everything vanished. The creation green lotus didn't shatter but escaped into the void. As for the Avicii sword, it had an owner, and the direction in which it escaped was where Mingi Heavenly Venerate was. Mingi Heavenly Venerate's face turned livid. He didn't expect that Xing Shi would rather die than work for him. But besides Xing Shi, there was another person. When Ning Cheng thought of Lan Shu, he saw the 5 colorful clouds explode in the mountain gaze. Before the 5 figures landed in front of him, Ning Cheng saw Lan Shu and Yu Qing. Among the 5 figures, he knew 3 of them. Apart from Lan Shu and Yu Qing, there seemed to be one called Luo Xian. He had seen Luo Xian and her master at the edge of the Milky Way. The other 2 were men. One was thinner, and the other was darker. Ning Cheng didn't know either of them. Ning Cheng wasn't in the mood to care whether he knew them or not. He rushed directly to Lan Shu. He didn't even care about the creation green lotus that had escaped. Although he knew that he had the highest chance of success if he fought for the creation green lotus because the direction in which the creation green lotus escaped was very close to him. He could see that Yu Qing had become much stronger after coming out of the mountain gaze. At this time, Yu Qing could definitely protect herself. Lan Shu's strength had also skyrocketed, but Lan Shu didn't seem to be in a good condition. Ning Cheng thought of Xing Shi, who had perished before, and knew that Lan Shu had also suffered from the backlash of the Yuan killer sword. It should be Mingi Heavenly Venerate trying to make her surrender. Lan Shu was struggling to resist, and it looked like she wouldn't be able to make it through. Dang, a clear sound of sword chi colliding directly cut through the void. Lan Shu couldn't even protect herself, but her Yuan killer sword still slashed out. The Yuan killer sword chi directly struck the Avicii sword that had escaped from her side, and the Avicii sword trembled slightly. Ning Cheng, who had just come up, had already stepped forward, grabbed the Avicii sword, and sent it into his mysterious yellow bead. At the same time, he supported Lan Shu, who had a pale face and was bleeding from her mouth. When Lan Shu saw Ning Cheng, she smiled and said with difficulty, "Ning Cheng, I thought I could help you, but I didn't expect to be plotted against. That sword isn't. Don't talk, I'll deal with it. You just need to cut off the connection between the Yuan killer sword and your soul." Ning Cheng's good fortune divine spear swept out, and millions of spear waves directly locked onto the Yuan killer sword that wanted to rebel. At the same time, he punched towards the angry Mingyi heavenly venerate. Xing Shi had no one to help her, but Lan Shu had Ning Cheng to help her. So what if the Avicii sword was Mingyi's? His sea of consciousness was like a vast void. Even if it swept away the Avicii sword that only had a trace of connection with Mingyi, how could Mingyi heavenly venerate jump into the sky? Ning Cheng, you're courting death. You even dare to meddle in this seat's affairs. Mingyi heavenly venerate's words came at the same time as a banner blotting out the sky. He wanted to find 2 sword boys to nurture the slaughter sword, but now it seemed that even one of them couldn't succeed. How could he not be angry? The fiery red banner directly locked onto the aura of the entire void, bringing with it an endless aura of killing intent. Ning Cheng felt the blood-red killing intent all around him, leaving no space for him to breathe. Before they even met, Ning Cheng knew that Mingyi heavenly venerate was far stronger than Qin Mutian. The creation divine spear locked onto the Yuan killer sword, while Ning Cheng's fist intent also brought with it all the aura in the vast void. Although Ning Cheng had a lot of magic treasures, only the creation divine spear could compete with Mingyi heavenly venerate's banner. When the creation divine spear couldn't be emptied, his fist was more reliable than any magic treasure. Boom! The sound of the void collapsing and laws exploding filled the air. The blood-red killing intent in the Berserk Azura banner was dispersed by Ning Cheng's fist. Ning Cheng's chest felt as if a huge stone was pressing down on it. Collect for me. Ning Cheng once again swept away the Yuan killer sword, clenched the creation divine spear, and stared at Mingyi heavenly venerate not far from him. Mingyi heavenly venerate sucked in a breath of cold air. When he saw that Wu Yang couldn't beat Ning Cheng, he thought that Ning Cheng had obtained a nirvana ice flower by chance. Only now did he know that Ning Cheng's strength wasn't any weaker than Yimo's. When Ning Cheng and Mingyi fought, it was like a chain reaction. The previously quiet gate of fortune once again became filled with killing intent. Countless Dao technique lights and magic treasures bombarded each other, and the real battle began. Ning Cheng looked at the people on his side anxiously. He had fewer people on his side. If he wasn't here, he would definitely be at a disadvantage. Now that Mingyi was staring at him, he couldn't leave at all. "Brother Ning Cheng, I'm here." A majestic voice sounded, followed by a figure stepping down from the void with golden light. Ning Cheng was overjoyed when he saw the person. Chapter 1526. Although he had not seen Song Wei for many years, he still recognized Song Wei the moment he arrived. Ning Cheng had previously heard that Zhu Yinghua had forced Song Wei to flee to the Western universe and that sage Buddha Chu Pu had trapped him with the 9 ruins heavenly symbols. He had always thought that Song Wei's strength was at most on the same level as Ao Kan, Xiao Xinshi, and the others. Later, when he obtained the 9 ruins heaven symbols and did not see Song Wei within it, he realized that if Song Wei had truly escaped from the 9 ruins heaven symbols, then Song Wei might not be a simple person. With the reputation of the 9 ruins heaven symbols, even if he ended up trapped inside, he would not dare to say that he would be able to escape. However, Song Wei managed to do it. If Song Wei's strength was truly that simple, then it would truly be a strange thing for him to escape from the 9 ruins heaven symbols. Since Song Wei ended up being chased by Zhu Yinghua, then he should have suffered some serious injuries. Now that Ning Cheng saw Song Wei, he was even more sure that his thoughts were correct. The Dao charm around Song Wei's body was thick, and it was not any weaker than Xing Shi's. He was definitely a powerhouse. What's more, Ning Cheng also knew that middle-aged man with a faint golden killing intent standing beside Song Wei. If it wasn't the good fortune indestructible axe, then who else could it be? Between Song Wei and the good fortune indestructible axe, was an extremely majestic beast. When the behemoth saw Ning Cheng's gaze sweeping over, it gave out an affectionate cry towards Ning Cheng before turning into a grey shadow and rushing towards Ning Ruolan. The next moment, the giant beast transformed into a kitten-like existence and fell into Ning Ruolan's arms. Obviously, it knew that Mingyi, who was confronting Ning Cheng, was very strong, and it couldn't help much. At this time, Ning Cheng was not as ignorant as he was in the past. He naturally knew that Grey Toot Toot was indeed a descendant of a mythological beast that contained the blood of all the different sides. At this moment, Grey Toot Toot's strength had already reached the peak of the second step, and was only a step away from creating a world, but for some unknown reason, it had not yet taken human form. Haha, there's also me, Pan Qian. Immediately following behind Song Wei and the good fortune indestructible axe was Pan Qian. Pan Qian stepped onto the battlefield, and his majestic aura immediately caused those with weaker cultivations to take a few steps back. Perhaps Pan Qian didn't have the strength of an omnipotent expert, but the aura he exuded when he descended had a crushing aura that wasn't any weaker than an omnipotent expert. What was even more depressing was the giant axe in his hand, which seemed to have been specially refined for the purpose of opening up planets. Xiao! 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 Swoosh! Ning Cheng didn't even have time to talk to Pan Qian and the others when 5 consecutive void explosions erupted, followed by a violent void collapse and law shattering. Yemo, I attacked the Green Lotus first. Are you going to intervene too? 5-element Divine Lord's furious voice sounded. After Ning Cheng gave way to the Green Lotus of Good Fortune, Sacred Master 5 Elements was the first to rush towards the Green Lotus of Good Fortune. However, before he could rush to the Green Lotus of Creation, a figure flew out of the mountain gaze and landed on the escaping Green Lotus of Creation. In the opinion of the 5 Elements Sacred Lord, even if he had obtained the fortuitous opportunity in the mountain gaze, he was still inferior to an ant in his eyes. He didn't expect Yemo to disregard the rules like this. He was about to get the lotus but Yemo shot 5 arrows. The might of these 5 arrows forced him to evade them. Originally, after he dodged the 5 arrows, he still had the chance to kill the lucky woman who obtained the Green Lotus of Creation and obtain it. However, the 4 golden arrows in Yemo's hands made him give up on the idea of fighting over them. He could clearly feel that if Yemo shot out all 4 arrows, even he might be injured. How could he be injured at this moment? No matter how good the treasure was, it wasn't as good as the Gate of Creation. Pity for the Green Lotus of Creation. He didn't have time to care about the Green Lotus of Creation. It wasn't that he really didn't like it, but he put all his energy on the World Wood. Now that the World Wood was gone, the Green Lotus of Creation was a good thing for him. Yemo didn't shoot out the 9 arrows clearly to save people. He didn't plan to use all his trump cards. Ning Cheng's eyes narrowed. He felt that if Yemo shot out the 9 arrows, it would be no weaker than his 5-colored star splitter arrow. Ning Cheng knew the woman who took the Green Lotus of Creation, she was called Luo Xian. It seemed Yemo knew Luo Xian too. Brother Yi. Luo Xian coincidentally got the Green Lotus of Creation. Seeing Yemo again, she choked. Luo Xian, long time no see. Yemo saw 5-element Divine Lord was concerned about the golden arrow of divine extermination and turned around to greet Luo Xian. He was a little excited. When Luo Xian disappeared, he searched the heavens and the earth but didn't find anything. Yemo knew this wasn't the time to reminisce about old times. How long was it? Even she had never thought that it would be more than 100,000 years later that they would meet again after their parting that year. To her, it wasn't important if Yemo saved her or not. What was important was that she saw that Brother Yi again. Brother Yi, this is the Green Lotus of Creation, you can have it. Luo Xian grabbed the Green Lotus and gave it to Yemo. To her, the best thing should be left to Brother Yi. Yemo felt very guilty. He didn't take good care of Luo Xian, and now, Luo Xian wanted to give the green lotus to him. Yi Mo took the green lotus slowly. He thought of the girl who gave him the golden page world, the girl who chased ghosts with him, and the girl who was willing to jump off a building with him. Sister Luo Xian, you already gave me the golden page world. You need to keep this green lotus and we'll go into the gate of fortune together. Yi Mo put the green lotus in Luo Xian's hands. He had made up his mind. Yi Mo was in trouble. Even if he died, he wouldn't let anything happen to Luo Xian. Rumbling killing intent and exploding Dao wave law interrupted the two's words. The gate of fortune had already formed an endless slaughter. As those supreme beings opened their worlds, the number of people participating in the battle couldn't be described with numbers. Rumble. Styx River's flag swept up the sky full of blood-red killing intent and smashed at Ningcheng. Endless Shuras also charged over. Husband, I'll help you. Yuqing stepped into the void and the dense cluster of Shuras formed a bloody path in front of her. Ningcheng saw Yuqing's Dao wave surging around her. Her seemingly gentle aura made many Shuras unable to even get close to her. He felt more at ease. Sister Qing, take Sister Shu to help Brother Tsongwei and the others. A mere Styx River and a few Shuras can't do anything to me. Ningcheng said immediately. Yuqing trusted Ningcheng's strength. After hearing Ningcheng's words, she took the weak Lan Shu and retreated without hesitation. Styx River Heavenly Venerable sneered and didn't stop Lan Shu. It wasn't enough for a little Ningcheng to be arrogant in front of him. As long as he killed Ningcheng, who could stop him from killing some ants? When the Azura flag wrapped around the surrounding void, a huge red lotus appeared above Ningcheng's head. This was his fourth treasure, the red lotus of hellfire. The red lotus looked similar to Palace Master Wuliang's Nirvana extinguishing mirror, but the effect was completely different. The red lotus of hellfire was like a fairy scattering flowers. Dense red lotus petals drifted out, each petal pointing directly at Ningcheng's Dao heart. The terrifying temperature shot out by the red lotus petals almost tore Ningcheng's Dao heart apart. At this moment, Ningcheng's spiritual consciousness was directly blocked by the red lotus petals. In addition to the red lotus of hellfire that tore his Dao heart apart, there were only endless slaughtering Azuras. Ningcheng's good fortune divine spear swept up hundreds of millions of spear waves, but these spear waves were blocked by the red lotus petals of the hellfire, and couldn't do anything to the crazily attacking Azuras around him. Even if the spear wave shattered countless red lotus petals, more and more lotus petals would sweep down from the sky. His protective domain was strong and solid, so he didn't fear these Azuras temporarily breaking through it. However, Styx River Heavenly Venerable was not an ordinary Azura. What's more, even if he could block it, the people around him might not be able to. No matter how strong Tsongwei and the others were, they couldn't stop the thousands of cannon fodders swarming towards them. The red lotus of hellfire, combined with the Azura flag, almost bound all of Ningcheng's attacks, which made Ningcheng anxious. After Palace Master Wuliang's Nirvana extinguishing mirror, Ningcheng once again felt the power of these weapons. From the performance of the red lotus of hellfire, Ningcheng knew that although the red lotus of hellfire didn't have the fame of the good fortune azure lotus, it was still a top-grade treasure. If he didn't destroy the red lotus of hellfire, he wouldn't be able to break free from Styx River Heavenly Venerable's trap. Ningcheng grabbed the good fortune divine spear and slammed it into the void, causing the five-colored star splitter bow to appear in his hand. In a flash, a killing intent that could tear apart the universe erupted from the five-colored star splitter bow in Ningcheng's hand. The grayish killing intent spread out and instantly dispersed the red lotus petals of the hellfire. Is this the five-colored star splitter arrow? Styx River Heavenly Venerable, who was looking for an opportunity to shatter Ningcheng's corporeal body and then strip Ningcheng's soul to fill his artifact spirit, suddenly felt the terrifying killing intent from the five-colored star splitter arrow. Feeling shocked, he immediately calmed down. Although it was a good thing to have an essence spirit artifact spirit with Ningcheng's strength, it wasn't worth it to use his own safety to obtain it. The Azura flag erupted with a mysterious flag seal, and the red lotus of hellfire that bound Ning Cheng became even more dazzling. A red pillar-like lotus arrow rushed out of the red lotus and directly rushed towards Ning Cheng's glabella. At this time, there were no more laws between heaven and earth, only the aura of death and slaughter. Boom! The five-colored star splitter arrow and the red lotus of hellfire's lotus arrow collided, and the void collapsed once again. The red lotus arrow split into countless fragments, while the five-colored star splitter arrow remained the same. Gotcha! Bang! The five-colored star splitter arrow tore through the red lotus arrow and slammed into the center of the red lotus of hellfire. The boundary of the lotus petals made a cracking sound, followed by the sound of the boundary collapsing. Ning Cheng's vision instantly split apart, and his spiritual consciousness covered the entire battlefield in front of the good fortune gate without any hindrance. The red lotus that had lost the Tao charm of hellfire fell into Styx River Heavenly Venerable's hand. Styx River Heavenly Venerable looked at the red lotus of hellfire in his hand in disbelief and muttered to himself, "Why?" He knew very well that the five-colored star splitter arrow was inferior to his red lotus of hellfire in terms of grade. So why did Ning Cheng's arrow not only break his red lotus petals, but also shatter his red lotus hellfire? The good fortune divine spear in Ning Cheng's hand once again rolled up billions of spear waves, and the spirit technique traceless collapse covered all the Azuras that trapped him. He wouldn't tell Styx River Heavenly Venerable why, but he knew why. The red lotus of hellfire's red lotus arrow contained the Tao charm of hellfire, just like his understanding of seeing a mountain is not a mountain. The red lotus of hellfire's red lotus arrow looked like an arrow, but it wasn't an arrow. His five-colored star splitter arrow was an arrow, a real arrow. It was precisely the realm of seeing a mountain is still a mountain. Regardless of his and Styx River's great realms, his realm in this arrow was a level higher than Styx River's. Chapter 1527. At the same time that Ning Cheng shot down Nether River's red lotus of hellfire, Ning Cheng's billions of spear waves also collided with the Azura flag. Violent void explosions rang out continuously, and Ning Cheng's spear waves were completely blocked by the Azura flag. Only a small amount of spear intent escaped and tore apart a few Azuras. Nether River Heavenly Venerate was furious. He wanted to take back the Avicii and Yuan killer swords, but he didn't expect that the Avicii swords and Yuan killer swords would injure the red lotus of hellfire once again. The Azura flag rolled up a sky full of killing intent. He couldn't calm down without killing Ning Cheng. So what if he had the five-colored star splitter arrow? Boom boom boom. Even more violent void collapses and destructive auras awakened the furious Nether River Heavenly Venerate. Amidst the battle between countless powerhouses, the Tao charm laws exploded, and the endless void in front of the Golden Gate of Fortune began to collapse. Just like a hall with its walls peeled away, the void in front of the Gate of Fortune no longer looked the same as before. The void that had exploded was vast and boundless. Countless planets were rotating in various locations in the void, and the Golden Gate of Fortune suddenly appeared at the end of this vast void. Only the golden line in front of the Gate of Fortune told everyone that the Gate of Fortune hadn't changed. Everyone was stunned by the majestic scene of the void. The laws of this void were clearly stronger than the void they had been fighting in before. It could even be said that this was a new universe. Slaughter Realm. Ning Cheng muttered to himself. He finally understood how the Slaughter Realm came to be. The Slaughter Realm was a new universe's boundary that appeared during the fight for the Gate of Fortune. This universe's boundary was specially prepared for battle and slaughter. Not only did Ning Cheng understand, but the rest also understood. After a brief pause, even more crazy killing and competition repeated. The originally narrow void with hundreds of millions of powerhouses fighting had now become boundless. Countless planets in the boundary shattered, and powerhouses were torn apart one after another. Ning Cheng had already seen that despite everyone restraining each other, Sacred Master 5 Elements, Tao Lord Primal Chaos, and the others still rushed to the front. Nether River Heavenly Venerate also sobered up. He didn't want to fight with Ning Cheng at this time. His goal was the Gate of Fortune. Empyrean Styx River's Azura flag no longer attacked Ning Cheng. Instead, it rushed towards the Golden Gate of Good Fortune. Ning Cheng's figure had just moved when an endless number of cultivators blocked his path. Even if his spear wave was more powerful, the seemingly endless waves of cultivators blocked his path one after another. Seeing Heavenly Venerate Styx River opening up a passage under the protection of the endless Azuras, Ning Cheng finally understood the role of cannon fodder. Here, no matter how powerful he was, without the help of an endless supply of cannon fodder, it was impossible for him to rush to the Gate of Fortune at the first instant. This wasn't a battle between powerhouses. Even if he wanted to fight with those powerhouses, they wouldn't have the leisure to fight with him. Now, everyone's target was the Gate of Fortune. Even Abyssal River, who lost the Avicii and Yuan Killer Sword to Emo, and 5-element Divine Lord who was stopped by Emo for the creation Green Lotus, gave up all enmity and charged towards the Gate of Fortune. Brat, you're not giving up, are you? If you're giving up, I'm leaving. I don't expect to snatch that gate anyway. The Fortune Indestructible Axe tore apart all the Azuras in front of it and landed next to Ning Cheng. He wasn't a Tao body. No matter how strong he was, he didn't have the right to fight for the Gate of Fortune. Pan Qian also rushed over with his giant axe. Brother Ning, let's kill our way over too. I don't believe we can't kill our way out. The Indestructible Axe snorted. You want to kill your way over? Do you think those who can come here are idiots who stand there and let you kill them? Pan Qian didn't dare to talk back to the Indestructible Axe. He murmured, the Gate of Fortune of my ancient giant race is the door of the heart. As long as one's cultivation touches that door, it will naturally open. But in front of us, the Fortune Indestructible Axe snorted again. The Gate of Fortune is indeed the door of the heart. Do you think you can touch that door without fighting? Only by killing your way out can you achieve nirvana. Ning Cheng raised the Fortune God's spear and said loudly, in that case, let's kill our way over. At this point, apart from fighting for it, he had no other way out. As Ning Cheng's spear wave blasted out, the attacks from the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe, Pan Qian, Zhang Wei, and the others turned into a huge wheel that crushed through the endless void. Countless obstructions died, but more and more obstructions came rushing over. Just like the waves of the sea, they seemed endless. In the beginning, the people from the Good Fortune Alliance and the Sacred Tao Alliance restrained each other, just so that their alliance could rush into the Gate of Fortune a step earlier. But when Ning Cheng led his people to rush in, the two alliances joined forces to stop Ning Cheng. It turned out that strength in numbers always made sense. If it didn't make sense, then it meant that you didn't have enough people. No matter how strong Ning Cheng and the others were, no matter how fierce their attacks, they still fell far behind the people from the Good Fortune Alliance and the Sacred Tao Alliance. There was even an endless void between them. A blood-red color permeated the entire void universe, and broken Tao charm laws and incomplete essence spirit screeching could be seen everywhere. With their corporeal bodies shattered, even if no one cared about their essence spirits, they would still be affected by the Tao charm attacks of others and eventually turn into nothingness. The dark red void aura grew more and more violent. At this point, many people couldn't tell which alliance they belonged to and just subconsciously killed those who approached them. Ning Cheng looked at the several experts gradually approaching the Gate of Fortune and sighed in his heart. He knew that his chances were getting slimmer. Master! Chasing Bull screamed in Ning Cheng's ear again. Before Chasing Bull screamed, Ning Cheng heard a buzzing sound that shook the entire void universe. Immediately after, a scene that blotted out the sky and covered the sun appeared in his spiritual sense. The endless darkness surged over as if it wanted to crush this part of the universe into pieces. Ning Cheng sensed a familiar aura, causing the good fortune divine spear in Ning Cheng's hand to tremble. He looked at the huge void explosive golden wasp rushing towards him in surprise. It was the void explosive golden wasp king that he had released in the past. At this moment, the void explosive golden wasp king had already reached the third step and had even reached the realm merging realm. The next moment, the void explosive golden wasp king landed beside Ning Cheng. "Master, I'm here." The void explosive golden wasp king wasn't good with words. Even if it had already reached the realm merging realm, it still imitated Chasing Bull's tone and addressed Ning Cheng. "Little wasp." Chasing Bull's voice emerged from the mysterious yellow bead. Apparently, it had not yet sobered up from the imposing aura of the void explosive golden wasp swarm. The void explosive golden wasp king's spiritual consciousness swept out and scanned Chasing Bull's spiritual consciousness. However, Chasing Bull quickly changed its address due to the powerful suppression. "Wasp King is big." Ning Cheng wanted to know where the void explosive golden wasp king brought so many troops from, but he didn't have time to ask about it at this moment. Instead, he pointed to the gate of fortune and spoke, "Since they're here, let's rush in together." The void explosive golden wasp king didn't speak any nonsense and followed Ning Cheng into the endless killing army. The swarm of void explosive golden wasps blotted out the sky, causing almost everyone to feel a little confused. It wasn't that there weren't any demonic cultivators competing for the gate of fortune, but such a large-scale swarm of demonic beasts was simply unbelievable. However, when the endless exploding golden wasp swarm swooped down, everyone immediately sobered up. These void explosive golden wasps were here to compete for the gate of fortune, not just passing by. The fierce killing aura continued to rise, and a large number of exploding golden wasps died under the bombardment of various Dao techniques and artifacts. However, even more exploding golden wasps filled up the space. The allied army blocking Ning Cheng's path began to collapse, and the area in front of Ning Cheng finally became flat. "Brother Ning, you can go ahead and compete for the gate of fortune. The few of us here are enough." Zhang Wei saw that there were no more obstacles in front of him and spoke up directly. After seeing Chu Pu's strength, Zhang Wei knew that he could only help Ning Cheng compete for the gate of fortune with his strength, not fight for it himself. Not to mention fighting for it, he couldn't even cross the golden line in front of the gate of fortune. Ning Cheng had already seen the several people fleeing in front of him. He nodded and ordered the void explosive golden wasps to stabilize the situation before rushing towards the gate of fortune through the void. Although the gate of fortune was very close, Ning Cheng once again felt like he was looking at a mountain. Originally, Ning Cheng didn't care about it. After all, he wasn't the only one rushing towards the gate of fortune. The several people in front of him were also rushing towards the gate of fortune. But when Ning Cheng saw Sacred Master 5 Elements rush into the golden line in front of the gate of fortune, he was shocked. Then, he saw Yi Mo, Sacred Buddha Chu Pu, and Tao Lord Primal Chaos rush through the golden line one after another. Ning Cheng suddenly paused. Did this mean that he would lose the chance to compete for the gate of fortune? Almost at the moment when Ning Cheng saw these people rushing through the golden line, a clear realization appeared in his mind. The gate of fortune that he couldn't reach seemed to be right in front of him. Ning Cheng took a step forward, and when his foot landed, he had already passed Palace Master Limitless, Nether River Heavenly Venerable, and the others, and crossed the golden line of fortune. The vast Tao runes of fortune crushed down, and Ning Cheng's entire body was suppressed by this aura. He fell behind the golden line, in front of the gate of fortune. At this moment, his spiritual consciousness was battered by the raging waves of the Tao runes of fortune, and he couldn't even release a little bit of it. Sensing the smell of blood, Ning Cheng immediately understood. When the few people who came in before were fighting to be the first to step into the gate of fortune, someone was heavily injured, which gave him an advantage. Ning Cheng naturally wouldn't miss this opportunity. He rushed past them without hesitation and landed in front of the gate of fortune. Almost at the instant when Ning Cheng was about to step into the gate of fortune, a figure also stepped over from the other side, arriving in front of the Gate of Fortune at the same time as Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng released the creation god spear, sweeping up thousands of spear waves. Since he was already at the door, how could he give up this opportunity? Outside of Ning Cheng's billions of spear waves, a purple sword ray sliced through the void towards Ning Cheng. Yi Mo, who had deliberately given up on being the first to step into the golden line, would never allow others to enter the Gate of Fortune before him. He deliberately gave up on being the first to step into the Gate of Fortune because he knew that the first to step into the Gate of Fortune would be attacked by those who came later. Regardless of whether they were allies or not, no one would hold back in this place. In fact, he guessed right. He was the second to come in, but he was the first to reach the Gate of Fortune. No, it should be said that he reached the Gate of Fortune at the same time as someone else. Chapter 1528. Ning Cheng. When Yi Mo's Zi Su sliced open the Tao waves nearby, he saw Ning Cheng fighting for the gate with him. His daughter Yi Mo's figure appeared in Yi Mo's mind. The reason he looked at Ning Cheng differently was because Ning Cheng came from the same earth as him. Another important reason was that Ning Cheng had saved Yi Mo more than once. Before the Good Fortune War, Yi Mo had begged him not to kill Ning Cheng if he really fought against him. Yi Mo didn't know how many powerful beings there were in the world and thought he and Ning Cheng were the strongest. If there was a final battle, it would be them. In fact, whether it was five-element Divine Emperor, Chu Pu or Mingyi, they wouldn't be weaker than him and Ning Cheng. But there seemed to be heaven's will and it was Ning Cheng who fought for the gate with him. These thoughts flashed in Yi Mo's mind but he instantly made up his mind. He wasn't going to kill Ning Cheng, he was just going to fight for the first spot to go in. Zi Su hacked down without hesitation. The sword wave laws around it were even more dense. If he could force Ning Cheng back half a step, he could go in the gate first. Almost at the same time, Ning Cheng's spear wave also tore open the golden light and saw that it was Yi Mo. Did Yi Mo really know he would fight Yi Mo in the end? Although this wasn't the final battle, it was no different from a battle. As this thought flashed through his mind, Ning Cheng immediately knew what he should do. The competition for the Gate of Fortune was inevitable, and he had to be the first one to enter. With Yi Mo's power, his spear wave could at most make Yi Mo back half a step or injure him. It wouldn't be fatal. To him, if Yi Mo could move half a step, he would be the first to go in. Rumble. Before the divine spear of fortune and Zi Su collided, the laws of spear intent and blade rhyme surged. Even the laws of heaven and earth that were as powerful as the Gate of Fortune trembled. Chu Pu. Just when Ning Cheng's spear was about to clash with Zi Su, he saw Chu Pu divine Buddha charge over. Chu Pu didn't fight for the gate and instead attacked Yi Mo's back with his golden staff. Ning Cheng's heart sunk. If it was before, his spear definitely wouldn't be able to heavily injure Yi Mo, but with Chu Pu who ambushed Yi Mo, with the two of them joining hands, no matter how strong Yi Mo was, his body would still crumble. If his physical body collapsed in this place, his primordial spirit would definitely be destroyed. Clearly, Chu Pu wanted to join forces with Ning Cheng to kill Yi Mo first. This Western monk unexpectedly dared to scheme against him. Ning Cheng's heart was filled with hatred. But if he didn't cooperate with Chu Pu, the first place would be taken by Yi Mo for sure. If he cooperated with Chu Pu, he would be able to go in first for sure. Not only that, but Yi Mo might also die because of this. As this thought flashed through his mind, the Tao runes of his divine spear started to distort in space. The twisted space ignored Yi Mo's attack and attacked Chu Pu divine Buddha instead. It was definitely better for Yi Mo to get it first than anyone else. If he joined forces with Chu Pu to kill Yi Mo, he wouldn't feel at ease even if he got first. This wasn't just about breaking his promise to Yi Mo, it was about his Tao heart. He was prepared to take a strike from Yi Mo's purple sword. He believed Yi Mo would definitely not kill him just to get the first place. Boom boom boom. The creation god's spear and Chu Pu's Buddhist staff clashed against each other and the laws exploded once again. Ning Cheng's heart suddenly went cold. This killing intent that wanted to tear his body filled his entire soul. This was a chi of death. Did he misjudge Yemo and Yemo wanted to kill him? Another explosion of Tao waves and laws collapsed. Ning Cheng knew he didn't misjudge Yemo didn't want to kill him, but when Chu Pu Divine Buddha ambushed Yemo, 5-element Divine Lord ambushed him. When he helped Yemo stop Chu Pu Divine Buddha, Yemo's sword instantly reacted the same as him and smashed towards 5-element Divine Lord. The four clashed at the same time and then they all landed in front of the door. No one was able to snatch the first place, and no one continued to rush towards the Gate of Fortune. Yemo and Ning Cheng glanced at each other and nodded. They both knew what Chu Pu and 5-element Divine Lord thought. Chu Pu and 5-element Divine Lord made the most correct decision for them without discussion. When Yemo and Ning Cheng fought for the door, the two ambushed Yemo and 5-element Divine Lord. If they succeeded, it would mean that Chu Pu and Ning Cheng teamed up to kill Yemo and 5-element Divine Lord Duemo and Yemo teamed up to kill Ning Cheng. With Chu Pu's concern for Yemo and 5-element Divine Lord's concern for Ning Cheng, this was the most correct decision. However, they didn't expect at the last moment, Yemo and Ning Cheng teamed up and stopped their ambush. At this moment, both Chu Pu and 5-element Divine Lord had intense contempt in their eyes. If it was them, they wouldn't be so soft-hearted. Hesitating in front of the Gate of Fortune was simply an insult to those who were competing for the fortune. If they could get this opportunity, they wouldn't miss it no matter who it was. Just when the four faced off in front of the Door of Fortune, two more dashing lights landed. Nether River Heavenly Lord and Chaos Tao Lord landed in front of the Door of Fortune. Since everyone's here, I suggest we go in order. I'm the first to cross the golden line of fortune and I created the 5-element world. Before 5-element Divine Lord finished, Ning Cheng interrupted, Duemo, who do you think you are? I haven't even settled the score with you for ambushing me and you want to be the first to enter the Door of Fortune. Try me if you have the balls. With that said, the spear intent of the divine spear of creation almost materialized, bringing with it a strong killing intent. 5-element Divine Lord's face was very bad but he didn't keep talking. Although he did not put Ning Cheng in his eyes, he did not know where this fellow came from, but he did not dare to not put Ning Cheng's strength in his eyes. Even if Ning Cheng couldn't kill him, as long as Ning Cheng attacked him, the first place would have nothing to do with him. Ning Cheng was an idiot. He could even give up the Door of Fortune, what wouldn't he do? I feel that this Door of Fortune is a little strange. It's as though it's waiting for us, Yemo suddenly said. Yemo suddenly said. He was just one step away from the Gate of Fortune before and that's why he had this feeling. Ning Cheng had the same feeling as Yemo but he didn't say it. Chu Pu's sacred Buddha returned to his peaceful self and said, Sect leader Yi is right. This Door of Fortune has Tao runes. It's not the aura of the great Tao of Fortune. 5-element Divine Lord nodded. He thought so too. Since everyone knows, then come in together. Don't fight. A calm voice sounded. This voice startled the 6 people in front of the Door of Fortune. Zi Xiao. Ning Cheng immediately knew who the other party was. Not only Ning Cheng, but 5-element Divine Lord and Nether River also knew who this person was. It didn't matter if it was Zi Xiao. With Zi Xiao's power, she was qualified to fight for the Door of Fortune. What shocked everyone was that Zi Xiao's voice came from inside the Door of Fortune. Just when the 6 of them didn't understand what was going on, the golden Door of Fortune suddenly collapsed. A boundless hall suddenly appeared in front of everyone. There was a hall behind the Door of Fortune. Neither spirit sense nor vision could tell how big this hall was. In the middle of the hall, there was a faint white jade mark. A Taoist stood on the white jade mark. It was Taoist Zi Xiao. There was a similar white jade mark in the other 4 directions of the hall. Apart from that, there were 5 purple air masses outside the 4 directions of the hall. These 5 purple air masses exuded a rich Tao rune of the great Tao of fortune. Anyone could tell that these purple air masses were good stuff. This scene lasted less than a tenth of a breath. The 6 figures in front of the door turned into 6 streams of light and rushed towards the hall. The answer in Ning Cheng's mind became clearer. However, he wasn't sure. Therefore, he didn't rush towards the purple air masses. Instead, he rushed towards the white jade mark on the side of the hall. After a while, the hall quieted down again. Then, Primal Chaos Tao Lord and Styx River Empyrean dazed. This was because out of the 6 of them, only the 2 of them rushed towards the purple air masses. Yi Mo, Ning Cheng, Chu Pu and 5-element Divine Lord all occupied a white jade mark. The Primal Chaos Tao Lord and Styx River Empyrean felt that they had made the wrong choice. Were the 5 fortune gods referring to these 5 white jade marks? However, all 5 of the white jade marks in the hall were occupied by people, and none of the people who occupied the white jade marks were weak. At the same time, another 8 figures rushed in. 3 of them landed in the 3 purple chi that were still in the air. The other 5 had nowhere to go. Ning Cheng knew almost all of these 8 people. Tao Monarch Fate, Tao Monarch Karma, Palace Master Limitless, Lan Shu, Luo Xian, Yu Qing. There were also 2 people whose names Ning Cheng didn't know. However, he knew that these 2, like Lan Shu and the others, came out of the 5-colored clouds in the mountain gaze. The other 3 purple chi were occupied by Luo Xian, Yu Qing and the black-faced man. Big brother, long time no see. You don't seem to be doing much better than me. The black-faced man standing on the purple chi mass suddenly looked at Yi Mo and smiled. Zi Shao, who was standing in the middle, interrupted the black-faced man and said calmly, "What's supposed to come is here. I think the time has come." Ning Cheng looked at Purple Firmament and asked with a heavy tone, "Tao friend Purple Firmament, since you can control the gate of good fortune, does that mean that we have always been living in your world? Are we standing in the position of the 5 of creation?" Before Zi Shao could answer, 5-element Divine Lord sneered, "I'm afraid Zi Shao doesn't have that much face." Chapter 1529. Zi Shao didn't care about 5-element's sacred lord's tone and said calmly, "Both of you are right." Hearing this, Ning Cheng's heart sank. This was indeed Zi Shao's world. Then, he had countless doubts. If this was really Zi Shao's world, why would Zi Shao stand with them? Also, why would Zi Shao fight for the good fortune indestructible axe in Zi Shao's world? Actually, this chaos does have a chance to become a world. It's just that I didn't refine this chaos world or merge with it like everyone else. It can be said that in this chaotic universe, apart from the ability to open the gate of fortune, I'm the same as everyone else. I can't control the life and death of anything in this chaotic universe, nor can I control anyone's destiny or Tao. Hearing Zi Shao's words, not only did Ning Cheng feel respect for Zi Shao, but everyone else also felt respect for him. Everyone understood what Violet Heaven was trying to say. Violet Heaven had a chance to bind this chaos verse, or perhaps merge it with this chaos verse. However, he hadn't done so. It was precisely because Zi Shao didn't do so that everyone could stand here equally. Even 5-element Sacred Lord, who had mocked Zi Shao, didn't say anything. If it were him, he wouldn't be able to do this. Back then, he had even wanted to completely merge with the world tree before refining the 5-element universe. It was only now that 5-element's Sacred Lord understood why Zi Shao had gone to watch the battle. Zi Shao hadn't gone to steal the world tree. The reason he hadn't done anything was not because he was afraid of being unable to deal with Duemo, but because he didn't want Duemo to refine the 5-element universe. The 5-element universe was just a universe in this piece of chaos. Zi Shao wasn't even willing to refine this piece of chaos and gave everyone freedom. Naturally, he didn't want the five-element universe to be refined by Duomo, Daoist Zishao. If I'm not wrong, you killed Sacred Lord Light and Darkness back then, right? Sacred Buddha Chu Pu suddenly interrupted. Sacred Lord Light and Darkness had been injured, but he hadn't died. Now that Sacred Lord Light and Darkness had died, it was very likely that Zishao had killed him. Zishao sighed. Yes, because he wanted to refine the light and darkness universe. In my eyes, all universes are equal. Of course, I have my own selfish motives. I hope to find someone who can open up the opportunity of creation with me. Naturally, I don't want anyone to refine any universe under this piece of chaos. Ning Qing suddenly thought of the countless cultivators in the many powerhouses worlds. Moreover, these people had all turned into cannon fodder because of the Gate of Good Fortune. Since the purple firmament could control the Gate of Fortune, it didn't seem right to let these cannon fodder fight each other. Daoist Zixiao seemed to have seen through Ning Cheng's thoughts and sighed, my Dao is still too shallow, and there are too many things that I can't control. What I can do is only choose to let the 5 great sage positions of creation be established and the 5 lesser venerables be gathered. The first time I opened the Gate of Fortune, it was because I saw the rise of the 10 Dao Lords and the 5 sages. He thought that he had found someone who could merge with his Dao, so he used the perfection of the 5 treasures of creation as the source of activation. It's a pity that their strength is still a little lacking, and they can't create the creation with me. Mingi, who had been suppressing his displeasure, suddenly asked, could it be that the 5 white jade marks are the 5 great sage positions? The 5 clouds of purple gas we are in are the 5 lesser venerables. The purple firmament nodded. That's right. Whoever steps into the white jade marks first will be the owner of the 5 great sage positions. I came earlier, so I'm in the middle. Daoist Yi occupies the east sage position, Daoist Ning occupies the north sage position, Daoist Chu Pu occupies the west sage position, and Daoist Duomo occupies the south sage position. This isn't fair. How can they occupy the 5 great sage positions? And we can only occupy the 5 lesser venerables. Heavenly Venerate Mingi said with hatred. The purple firmament's tone was neither fast nor slow. The 5 great sage positions cannot be changed after they are occupied, at least not before the Gate of Good Fortune opens. The 5 lesser venerables can be changed. Back then, I left 5 clouds in the mountain gaze, thinking that the one who obtains the 5 colored clouds would be the venerables. Now, it seems that it was wishful thinking on my part. Heavenly Venerate Mingi was speechless. What the purple firmament meant was that Mingi might not even be able to keep his current venerables, let alone compete for the 5 great sage positions. The purple firmament ignored Heavenly Venerate Mingi and looked at the others. Fellow Taoists, if you have any objections to the candidates for the 5 venerables, you can speak now. Tao friend, you're not fated to be the venerables. Leave it to me. Then, Karma Tao Lord slapped at the black-faced man. The black-faced man was furious. He got his fortune at the mountain gaze, but someone treated him like a soft persimmon. But as soon as his Tao waves swept up, it was bound by the endless Karma Tao power. The black-faced man was extremely shocked. He didn't even have time to release his magic artifact and punched. Rumbling demonic chi clashed with Karma Tao Lord's punch. Sky full of laws exploded. But everyone here was powerful and this palace was extremely sturdy. The exploded laws didn't affect anyone else at all. The black-faced man knew he was no match for Karma Tao Lord in just one punch. He immediately called out desperately to Yi Mo, are you going to leave me to die? At least we're both Yi. Hearing this, Karma Tao Lord was shook. He knew Yi Mo's power too well. If Yi Mo interfered, he wouldn't be able to take the venerables. You abandoned your wife Nana, used Nangong Shaodai and then abandoned her again. In order to cultivate the demon Dao and strengthen the 9-headed void-devouring bug, you killed countless. On account of Ling, I didn't kill you. You still have the face to say your surname is Yi? Yi Mo said coldly. Thud. As Yi Mo spoke, Karma Dao Lord tore open Yi Zifeng's realm domain and punched Yi Zifeng's chest. Yi Zifeng spat blood and flew out of the palace. Almost at the same time Karma Dao Monarch sent Yi Zifeng flying, Karma Dao Monarch was already standing on the purple gas that Yi Zifeng had been standing on. If it wasn't for Yi Mo, that punch would have killed Yi Zifeng. Jiao Yang Ji Feng Yu greet 5-element Qian Bei. After Karma Dao Lord took a venerable spot, the man Ning Qing didn't know suddenly bowed to 5-element Sacred Lord. Ji Feng Yu. Hearing this name, Ning Qing immediately remembered who he was. Wasn't this the guy who left Perpetual Moon Sect? He had been to the world Ji Feng Yu left in the Time Wilderness. But soon, Ning Qing realized what Ji Feng Yu wanted. Ji Feng Yu wanted to use the pressure of 5-element Sacred Lord to steal a venerable spot. The reason he bowed to 5-element Sacred Lord was to tell him that he was going to follow 5-element Sacred Lord. Indeed, 5-element Sacred Lord nodded to Ji Feng Yu, Dao friend Ji, if you want something, go get it yourself. 5-element Sacred Lord got one of the 5 great divine positions and was feeling great. Now that Ji Feng Yu wanted to follow him, how could he reject? Ji Feng Yu got the nod and rejoiced. His eyes fell on Luo Xian. To him, Luo Xian was the easiest to bully. Piss off, if you dare to take another step forward, I will nail you to death here. Seeing Ji Feng Yu walk towards Luo Xian, Yi Mo waved his hand and a golden bow of divine extermination appeared in his hand. Ji Feng Yu's heart went cold. He subconsciously looked at 5-element Sacred Lord. 5-element Sacred Lord didn't even bat an eyelid. He knew 5-element Sacred Lord didn't plan to help him. He had seen Yi Mo's power in the war. If 5-element Sacred Lord didn't attack, he wouldn't dare to steal Luo Xian's revered position. Ji Feng Yu didn't plan to steal it. He knew he wouldn't be able to do so. As for Yu Qing, without 5-element Sacred Lord's help, he didn't dare to steal it either. Like Luo Xian, Yu Qing had someone protecting her. Ji Feng Yu sighed and didn't move. So what if he planned for many years? In front of great power, all schemes were illusory. Seeing Ji Feng Yu not attack, Zi Xiao said calmly, those who occupy the 5 divine positions and 5 revered positions stay. The rest of you leave the Fortune Palace. Ning Qing, I'll wait for you to succeed. Although Lan Shu was also a mountain-gazing opportunity holder, she was the first to leave. Lan Shu was indifferent. With Ning Qing getting the divine position, she really didn't care about a revered position. At the same time, Fate Dao Lord moved. She charged towards Styx River Empyrean. Almost at the same time, Ning Cheng's 5-colored star splitter arrow and Yi Mo's golden bow of divine extermination shot out at the same time. Ning Cheng's reason for helping Fate Dao Lord was simple. It was to deal with Styx River Empyrean. Yi Mo's reason for helping Fate Dao Lord was even simpler. Fate Dao Lord was in an alliance with him. Styx River Empyrean didn't fear Fate Dao Lord at all in a one-on-one fight. But with the golden bow of divine extermination and the 5-colored star splitter arrow, no matter how confident Styx River Empyrean was, he didn't dare to fight them at the same time. Rumble. Styx River Empyrean's Shura flag was blasted away. His realm domain was even more chaotic. No matter how much he wanted the revered position, he had to move aside. Kacha. The underworld river crashed into the void of the main hall, creating a faint trace of a long river. Fate Dao Lord landed on Styx River Empyrean's purple revered position. Everyone else in the hall was swept out by a violent Dao wave chi. Even Palace Lord Wuyang couldn't avoid it. What puzzled Ning Qing was that Mingyi was still in the main hall. Moreover, the place where Mingyi stood was the faint trace of the long river that he had smashed open. Daoist Zi Xiao nodded, since there should be one friend Styx River, then will be 11. Then, Daoist Zi Xiao raised his hand and slapped out a white jade tablet. The white jade tablet was engraved with the words Middle Sage Creation Saint Zi Shao. As soon as this white jade tablet came out, it fell into the white jade mark under Dao Lord Zi Shao's feet and matched it perfectly. Dao Lord Zi Shao landed on this white jade tablet and said in a serious tone, "Each of us will have an opening sage tablet. When we gather our sage tablets, the world of good fortune will be opened. Ever since I obtained the opening mark of the world of good fortune, I've been wondering if our world is someone else's realm. But I'm sure of one thing. Regardless of whether it's someone else's realm or not, once we gather the 5 sage positions and open the world of good fortune, we will surpass everything." Ning Qing suddenly understood what Taoist Zi Shao meant by, "Tao isn't Tao, humans aren't humans. Pity us, it's torturous." If Taoist Zi Shao's guess was right, then no matter how strong they were just a bunch of pitiful people living in someone else's realm. The Tao they cultivated was just a Tao under someone else's laws. Their people were just cannon fodder, just slightly higher level cannon fodder. Since Ning Qing could understand it, the others clearly understood it too. Seeing everyone fall into silence, Taoist Zi Shao smiled, "This is just my guess. Plus, even if it's true, we might be able to open a new world here. Now, everyone take out your sage tablet and open the world of good fortune together." After Taoist Zi Shao, 5-element Divine Lord was the first to take out a tablet. On his white jade tablet, Ning Qing saw the word South Divine Position 5-element Divine Duo. Then, Chu Pu took out a tablet that said, West Divine Position All Buddha Saint Chu Pu. Yi Mo took out a tablet that said, East Divine Position Immortal Saint Yi Mo. Ning Qing was confused. He didn't have a tablet. Now that he occupied the North Divine Position, if he couldn't take out a tablet, wouldn't that mean he couldn't open the world of good fortune? When the rest of the people looked at him, Ning Qing suddenly remembered that he had obtained a stone stele when he was in the heaven-seated realm. However, it was a blank stone stele. Moreover, the 3 culmination towers had been restored to its original state because of his insights and a white jade stone stele. Thinking of this, Ning Qing raised his hand and grabbed the stone stele. Sure enough, when Ning Qing grabbed the blank stele, a row of golden words appeared on it, Northern Sage, Mysterious Yellow Sage Ning Qing. 5 tablets landed under the 5 people's feet. Then, 5 golden rays shot out from their feet and gathered together, exploding into a blinding white light above the hall. East Divine Position Immortal Saint Yi Mo, West Divine Position All Buddha Saint Chu Pu, South Divine Position 5-element Divine Duo, North Divine Position Xian Huang Divine Ning Qing, Middle Divine Position Creation Saint Zi Shao, 5 stone tablets engraved with golden light shot out in 5 different directions, extremely clear. Boom boom boom. Dao runes rumbled, and Ning Qing felt his body lighten. It was as if the entire universe had exploded, and there was no longer any restraint. Ning Qing felt like he had been staying in a well for a long time, and then suddenly rushed to the mouth of the well. It was the same majestic aura, but it was completely different from the feeling before. At this moment, he felt that the majestic aura was truly vast and boundless. What surprised Ning Qing even more was that the heaven and earth essence qi, which was of a higher grade than God's spirit qi, filled him, without a trace of impurities. Ning Qing's great Tao directly rose, and both his bones and body sublimated at this moment. Creation Realm. Ning Qing was shocked. After coming to this place, he hadn't even started cultivating yet, but his strength had directly stepped into the creation realm. The opening of the world of good fortune is better than I imagined. Each of us has 108 main seats to be sealed. Under each main seat, there are many secondary seats. Everyone occupy their respective seats and stabilize their seats as soon as possible. It's definitely not just our chaotic universe that is fighting for the main plane of good fortune. Taoist Zi Zhao's voice disappeared into the vastness along with the middle divine position stone tablet. Ning Qing, Yi Mo, and the others also wrapped their stone tablets and quickly rushed to their respective territories. No one doubted Taoist Zi Zhao's words. The universe of good fortune was definitely not like what they imagined. Perhaps, this was the place that truly belonged to the strong. End of book. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.